This is going to be a large plasma cut. The drawing is going to spread over 2 jumbo boards. Because of that, we're going to have to move the diagram over to trace out that area between the 2 boards. I'm using Jumbo Trace 2018. And I've selected lines and arcs because the whole diagram is mostly lines, but at the top there's arcs. You can see here I'm using the Jumbo 4 setup, and that's 4 drawing tablets bolted together. The diagram is too big for one board, so we're going to use reference points, and I'm going to move the diagram and redraw that area between the 2 boards. I first started tracing out the back end of the diagram. Again, I'm using lines and arcs, but I'm sticking to the lines, and it's pretty easy to do because it's all straight lines except for the top where the arc is. I keep tossing my pen on the diagram to remind me just where I am in the diagram, because when I look up over to the monitor and look back in the diagram, I could easily forget what I've traced. You can see here where the diagram is spilling over between the 2 boards. So that section between the 2 boards will not trace. Once I'm finished tracing the whole diagram, then I'll move the diagram and retrace those spots I call the null area between the 2 boards. I find that amazing, that you can take a diagram with 2 reference points, move it left or move it right, retrace those spots no matter how complex, and it's perfect. So we're starting to get the whole diagram traced out except for that null area between the 2 boards. So we're getting close to moving the diagram left or right. I forgot to mention those tabs you see along the sides of the diagram. Those are the tabs that are going to go into the cedar frame. I'm building a cedar frame 3 inches by 1.5 inches thick all around the steel insert. The reason I need a cedar frame is because the steel panel, the insert, is 12 gauge. The cedar frame will give this some rigidity so it can stand up on its own. I'm now ready to move the diagram to the left. The area I penciled in red, That's the area that we have to retrace. But you have to remember, to do this technique, you have to have the 2 reference points. And you can see the left-hand reference point there, the red X. Now the digitizing is complete, and we're going to save that as a DXF file and load it into Vectric Aspire 10.0. Check the vector quality. Also in Vectric Aspire 10.0, I'll run the simulator to see how the cut looks. So now I'll take that DXF file and load it into the Plasma software, and we'll start our cut. We used a 4x8 sheet, 12 gauge. We start off by cutting all the squares, and then we slowly work our way to the top and cut the arch squares out. There's only 4 arch pieces to cut out. Here the perimeter cut starts. This will finish off the whole project. It'll cut the whole perimeter out, including the tabs, and we're finished. I just wanted to show the plasma table with the piece taken out. And this is the piece we cut. Here you can see the cedar frame that I built around the metal insert, and then I cut those 2 top pieces off to make the arc perfect. This is going to become a garden accent.